The next contestant, we have 4 more until we wrap up and send our judges out to the special smoke-filled room in the back where they've been learning from the primary and convention process. Less said about that, the better. And we'll be tallying votes at that point. Until then, 4 more contestants. In the first, John Dillon from Vetx. If you would come up, please.
Thanks for that introduction. My name is John Dillon. I am the co-founder and co-CEO of Vetx. Before I get started, I'd like to ask each and every one of you that either owns a pet or knows somebody that has a pet, what does a pet mean to you? To me, it means companionship. It means fun. It means love. And it means loyalty. What you're seeing in the background is a picture of my puppy, Patrick. And Patrick, I recently adopted a few weeks ago from a kill shelter in the Deep South. And like any new pet owner, I was extremely excited, taking him out for hours and hours playing. And one night, he just collapsed on my couch and started making noises, like moaning. He was unresponsive. So I was freaking out. I didn't know what to do. All the vets were closed. So the only option I had is to call the emergency care clinic. I called them, and I'm not going to say names, but they wouldn't answer any questions. They said I had to drive 30 minutes out of my way to come see them, and the bill would be at least $160. Now, I did it, but I left with a really bad taste in my mouth, right? It was a stressful experience, and we thought there's got to be a better way. Now there is. Vetx connects pet owners and veterinarians on demand. We also allow for cloud-based medical records access. So let's say one weekend I do decide I want to take Patrick out to a weekend in Nantucket. I'll have the ease of mind to know that his records are safe with me. We're serving a $100 billion plus equine care and small pet market, and our current status is that we're relaunching our app. We currently launched in November. We had over 60,000 App Store views. The problem was the app was a little buggy and our business plan needed to be rejigged. So we made a major pivot, and we're happy to say that we're going to launch at the end of the week. To date, we have over a 2,000 user subscriber base, and we're projecting to answer over 5,000 questions by the end of Q2. We've raised $200,000 to date from angel investors, and we're currently closing out a round of $500K at a $2.75 million valuation, of which $350K is already committed. So what's wrong? Like I mentioned, it's a problem of convenience, it's a problem of reliability, it's a problem of price, it's a problem of access. Now let me give you some statistics. In the US alone, there's over twice as many pets as there are children. That's a surprising figure. And telemedicine, so we're at the forefront of telemedicine and the on-demand economy, is one of the fastest growing segments in the US economy. Vet expenditures per pet per household are over $300 a year and quickly growing, so if any one of you has a pet, you're going to know this by heart. So our solution is straightforward and it's simple. Any general question that's non-pressing, you can ask for free in our mini feed. But if you have something that's pressing, you can have a private one-on-one consultation on the spot. It's $10, there's no time limit. And our medical records access is $2.99 a month. Here's some screenshots on how we work. You can see on the left our mini feed, in the middle our video chat, and on the right our medical records platform. So our monetization strategy, like I said, is straightforward. I think it's important to note that we don't have a time limit because we feel like it's gimmicky, but we've noticed that consultations usually end between 2 to 3 minutes. The record access is $2.99 a month. Questions of general nature, whether it's separation anxiety or food aggression, et cetera, those are free. Our network, we're growing it by partnering with vets. We're not saying we're competing with brick and mortar institutions. We're saying we're going to take your marketing budget, throw it out the window. We're going to drive the traffic to you. But in return, we want your vets to help us answer the questions. If they're not answered within a minute, we have in-house staff relief vets that will answer the questions so we can assure the quality control. Okay, we're also entering into a major licensing agreement with the equine care market. So if any one of you has horses or you know somebody that has a horse, we have a huge market right there, and we've signed some deals with some major players. Unit economics are strong, $4 customer acquisition cost, $39 customer lifetime value. We have currently 6 months of runway. This is pre-raise. We're projecting to break even between 7 to 8 months. So it's looking good. Our growth, we need to be where pet owners are, and we know who our customers are because we are our own customers. And product placement, in that case, is key. We're partnering up, I'd like to say, this is a big thing with Uber, Yelp, Tableist, Breather, Drizzly for some major PR stunts. So the Boston startup economy is behind us, and we're really excited about some of the PR stunts that are going to happen. So like I mentioned, we're raising $500,000 at $2.75 million pre-seed, but really we're only looking for $150,000 to close out a round. What do we need the money for? Well, talent is expensive, and we need to get an additional full stack developer and a back-end specialist. And lastly, we have a first mover advantage in this market. There are other competitors, but they're just frankly not doing it right. So we need to do a land grab. So there's going to be a big marketing spend, and we're excited to carry forward. So thank you very much. If you have any questions, our poster's right over there.
James, you're looking particularly pensive.
So I'm married to an emergency vet.
Okay.
I'm just going to leave that right out there.
Just happens. How are you going to get vets?
Yeah, so excellent question, and that's actually part of our pivot that happened from November to now. Initially, veterinarians were really concerned about, if you're married to an emergency vet, you'll know, but if I say VCPR, yeah, you might know what that term means, veterinary care-patient relationship, veterinary client-patient relationship.
Yeah.
There's a lot of technical terms.
She, by the way, is Angel Memorial trauma trained.
Fantastic institution, and we're actually looking to partner with them, hopefully for 24-hour care. But basically what we're doing is, I don't want to say names right now, but we partner with one of the major players in the Boston market. We live in Back Bay. And we partnered with one of the major players over there, and we said, all right, like I said, take your marketing budget, throw it out, help us with these questions, but we're going to send you the referral traffic. And we can back that up by saying we had 60,000 views in a month alone, and compare that to what you guys get. So it's a powerful statement. It's important to note from a veterinarian perspective that we're not giving diagnosis, right? But we are able to give that first level of triage, which might be a term you're comfortable with. But it's just that first level of care to say, okay, you know what? It's not something where you need to go to the ER immediately, or you know what? It is something you do need to go see a vet immediately. And for $10, we feel like that peace of mind is something that people are willing to pay for.
So I'll throw in one more general question, pass it to my colleagues. So for hopefully very rare incidents, and this applies to a lot of different things like insurance and so on, how do you get your end users? How do they know to get this app?
Yeah, so I'll just throw it out there. One of the things that we're doing is it's a PR stunts. We're calling it Puppy Office, and we're bringing puppies into think about like an Ernst & Young, a KPMG. People are just working hard and working a long day of work. We're partnering up with these companies and saying, okay, give us one of your offices. We're going to partner up with the pet shelters, bring in some puppies, and see people's reactions when they see the puppies, right, or the kittens. And we're paying the adoption fees for them. And then we're also partnering up with CBS. And so when I was talking about partnering up with some of the major apps in the Boston area, some of these PR stunts are huge, but we have a big social media presence. We're also partnering up with pet shelters and saying, we find that new pet owners are the craziest early adopters, right? Because like when you have a kid, you have tons and tons of questions. Pet owners are the same way. I had tons and tons of questions, right? So how do we get ourselves to be where they are? We're saying, okay, we're going to have free Q&A sessions sponsored by our vets, and in return, we want our marketing collateral. When you adopt a puppy, we want our marketing collateral right there. It's part of the things that we're doing, but we're doing tons of partnerships and tie-ups to get new users, so we're really excited about it.
And what was the business model you pivoted from?
So initially, it was more of a direct competition with brick and mortar institutions. So we were going to do, first of all, on the revenue side, it was going to be a revenue sharing mechanism. So let's say that we charged, initially the fee was going to be different, but let's say $10, right? 75% would go to the vet, 25% would go to us. Problem is that the vets didn't want to refer their traffic to us because they're not sure that their clinic would be able to keep the traffic, right? So we said, okay, instead of trying to compete with you guys, let's partner with you guys. And we're going to have exclusive providers by city, right? So Boston is just where we're basing this platform from. But once we show proof of concept, then we're just going to go straight to Chicago, LA, all the metropolitan areas, New York. Another big thing that we just got, we had a call from Banfield, which is the largest privately owned veterinary care institution in the US. And they're talking about partnerships with us. So as long as we can prove that this works, which it will, sky's the limit.
So as a dog owner and a horseback rider, I love what you're doing.
Thank you.
No pun intended, how do you plan to vet the vets and make sure that you're bringing on, reputable vets that are answering these questions for good user experience?
That's why it's really important for us, from a partnership perspective, to really partner with key institutions. So the one in particular that we partner with is one of the marquee ones in Boston. And we know the owners, they know us, and our staff, grade A talent. We're really happy with them. So we do really seriously due diligence to make sure they're top notch.